Has Lady Luck run out on Las Vegas as the casino kings move to Asia?
Asian people take their gaming very seriously. To them, it's a business. I'm here to win your money.
And we go swimming with some of the massive manta rays who live in the warm waters of the Indian Ocean.
And later on the Fast Track Travel Clinic, the best place to catch the greatest show above Earth, the Northern Lights.
Hello, I'm Fiona Foster. Welcome to Fast Track. Now, if you like a bit of a flutter on your travels, odds on the destination top of your list will be Las Vegas. Its fortunes have changed in recent years though, and it seems Lady Luck is now smiling on Asia instead. Macau already takes more money than Vegas, and Singapore is not far behind. So which experience is better? Well, when the chips are down, we send in Carmen Roberts.
Vegas has reached its peak, so-called. So Singapore is a young upstart.
Asians, and especially the Chinese, have a penchant to gamble. It's in the DNA.
"2010 was a stellar year for Singapore, with tourism revenues topping $15 billion. That's a 50% growth year on year. And for 2011, tourism receipts are promising to be $17.5 billion. Not bad for an island that's less than half the size of Greater London. And it's no coincidence that these staggering figures come as these two colossal integrated resorts open their doors in Singapore. But don't mention the C word, because they're so much more than just casinos. Marina Bay Sands, with its iconic boat on top of three towers silhouette, has become an architectural landmark. It also boasts an infinity pool with the best views of Singapore, as well as a luxury shopping mall. While Resorts World Sentosa has 6 hotels, including the newly opened uber-luxurious Aquarius hotels and beach villas, Asia's first Universal Studios theme park, as well as an oceanarium set to open later this year. So where are all these visitors from, and what's the big attraction?
I'm from Japan. We go to casino.
We are from Sweden. We are here to visit and just see the park and have some fun, go to the beach.
We are from China, yeah. I think casino, but I don't try it, yeah. And shopping is good.
Of course, in terms of gambling revenues, there's no competing with Macau. The 6 casinos there netted $32.5 billion last year, 5 times more than the amount gamblers spent on the Las Vegas Strip. Singapore gaming figures reached $6 billion in revenue in 2011, just 2 years after they opened. And this tiny city-state is poised to overtake Sin City too, if it hasn't already.
It depends on how you measure casino gaming revenue in Las Vegas compared to Singapore. If you just look at the Las Vegas Strip, Singapore certainly is exceeding where the Las Vegas Strip is right now. But if you look at Las Vegas as an entire cosmopolitan community and match it up to Singapore, Las Vegas is still ahead.
But these 3 markets are very different. The veteran Las Vegas was initially founded on mob money and later high-flying entrepreneurs like Steve Wynn, who had a dream and wanted to make it come true as quickly as possible, without any consolidated planning. The integrated resorts in Singapore, on the other hand, are closely managed by the government. No junket operator licenses have been granted as yet, and it's being very cautious about any potential increase in problem gambling among the locals. So, if you're a Singaporean, there's a hefty $100 fee just to enter the casino. But from a punter's point of view, playing in Vegas is totally different from Asia. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge gambler, but I do like to have a go as part of the holiday experience. Just a bit of fun. And from my experience in Vegas, that's exactly what it's like. The atmosphere is light-hearted, you can bet small at the tables if you want to, and share a drink with your friends at the same time. But here in Asia, the mood is decidedly different. It's quite serious inside at the tables, almost businesslike, and you'd better be willing to bet big.
Asian people take their gaming very seriously. To them, it's a business. I'm here to win your money. So don't ply me with alcohol and pretty girls. I'm not interested in that, which is what you get in Vegas. Here, it's a serious business.
Macau casino or gaming betting is almost life and death. And we hope that Singapore, per se, has started on a quite good footing, and you will grow to be the Asians model.
We have this 12 days American West Coast Spectacular Tour, and it's actually covering Los Angeles, Las Vegas, as well as San Francisco.
A lot of this success is down to the economy. While Europe and the US are in a slump at the moment, Asia is booming. So while the mainland Chinese are queuing up to pay top dollar for their package tours to Macau and Singapore, travellers in Asia are enjoying cheaper fares to the United States, including Las Vegas.
For the first half of 2012, what we are seeing here in the Singapore market is that the airlines have slashed their prices by about 30 to 50%. I think with a very strong Singapore dollar against the American dollar, then we are seeing that passengers are taking to the skies to America.
Some say Singapore has copied the Las Vegas model with the value of hindsight and better planning, but its potential to grow could soon slow down.
Well, Singapore has a finite capacity because the government has only allowed 2 integrated casino resorts to exist for a certain time period. Macau has a much more liberalized casino licensing regimen. And in that respect, Macau certainly has the ability to grow further to a degree and to a level that is really anybody's imagination.
Carmen Roberts reporting from Singapore. Now over to you. What do you think? If you've been to Singapore or to Macau, how does the experience stack up against that of Las Vegas? If you've been, we'd love to hear from you at our usual address. That's fasttrack@bbc.com. Now here's Rajan with some of your thoughts on our recent programmes.
Last week we looked at safety on the slopes and how some people still don't like wearing helmets. Malcolm from Banff in Canada emailed to say,
observing the slope safety code and respecting other skiers is the easiest and most effective way to reduce injuries. Ski helmets are a sad joke perpetrated by goggle manufacturers and retailers to increase profits.
A fairly robust view with which Doug from Santa Fe in the US agrees.
Most serious head injury is linked to road rather than snow travel. In that context, to exit a car and don head protection for skiing seems like strange behaviour.
But Edward Kossaboom, also from the States, contacted our Facebook to say he doesn't wear a helmet while skiing, but while snowboarding...
My abilities have just gotten to the point where my increased speed doesn't quite match my stability and confidence, and I can see myself getting dangerous. I will definitely be investing in a good snowboarding helmet very soon.
Jeff Harrison also contacted us via Facebook.
I recently had an accident and broke my ribs. I can live with that, but what I remember most is my head hitting the ice. I'm glad I was wearing a helmet.
And now let's see what else has been making news in the world of travel this week. Flying on Emirates Airlines is about to become more expensive. Managers are introducing a fuel surcharge because of the increasing price of oil globally. Fares will go up by up to $46 in economy and $166 in first and business class. It applies to tickets issued on or after March the 1st, and Emirates says the surcharge will be looked at on an ongoing basis. Tokyo's Skytree has been finished. It's now the world's second tallest building and includes 2 observation decks. The steps aren't the only steep things about this though. Entry will cost from $23 per person when it opens in May. 2 kilometres of tubing's being buried along part of Mexico's coastline to stop the beach there being washed away. Authorities want Sanchez Magallanes on the east coast to become more of a tourist destination in the future, and it's hoped the geotubing will help with that by stopping erosion. The area's already lost more than a kilometre of beachfront in the last 25 years.
The hope is that this protects the coastal area, especially the people who live near the edge of the sea. The people are pleased because there are businesses investing. Now they've seen the coast is being protected. We want this area to be 100% ready to be a tourist area.
Anti-counterfeit technology is being introduced to stop imitation Cuban cigars being sold to the country's tourists. If you're planning to bring a box home as a souvenir, make sure you look for the hologram stickers and keep the receipt in case you're stopped at customs. And crew on Virgin Atlantic are being taught to whisper their in-flight announcements. They hope the hushed tones will let sleeping passengers sleep while the lights are out. But that's only in the airline's upper-class suites. If you're in economy, the earplugs stay in.
Do stay with us, because coming up after the break, Simon's here to take on the airlines and travel companies on your behalf, and we dive beneath the warm waters of the Indian Ocean to go swimming with some giant manta rays.
Hello and welcome to the Fast Track Travel Clinic with me, Simon Calder, and let's start with one of nature's most extraordinary phenomena. Sarah Fleetwood got in touch to say,
my partner and I are hoping to go in search of the Northern Lights. Which is better, Iceland or Norway?
this winter and next are expected to offer the best displays of the aurora borealis for many years, in which electrically charged particles emitted by the sun are dragged by the Earth's magnetic field into high energy collisions with the upper atmosphere, producing dazzling swathes of colour that illuminate the Arctic night. Both Iceland and northern Norway are excellent locations to witness the greatest show above Earth. But before you book a flight to Iceland's capital Reykjavik or Tromsø in Arctic Norway, bear in mind that the aurora borealis are fickle. Assume that you won't see them and choose a place with great sights and activities during the day. Northern Iceland offers Europe's most powerful waterfall and volcanic terrain, or you can take a cruise along Norway's dramatically corrugated coast. So choose between lunar landscapes or a wild shoreline. But you'll need to move fast, for this northern winter, by April there's not enough night. but next winter is set to be equally electrifying. Next, Trevor Ogborn has a simple question about airline baggage allowances.
If two passengers can take a 20-kilo bag each, why can't a couple combine their allowances and check in one case weighing 28 kilos?
Trevor, the airlines used to allow aggregation of allowances, but I believe they've now all ended the practice in order, they say, to protect check-in staff and baggage handlers from injury. A cynic might add that it possibly suits them financially to be able to charge excess on bigger baggage. From luggage to legroom, Marilyn Chatterton emails about a long flight from London to Vancouver, the Thames to the Pacific, with Thomas Cook Airlines, booked through the tour operator Canadian Affair.
The seat pitch was minimal and the seats would not recline. Can I claim compensation for a very uncomfortable journey?
Marilyn, the only legal obligation is for airlines to provide seats that meet strict safety standards. Aviation law is silent about your comfort. However, Canadian Affair tells me that the issue was on one aircraft for the final 2 weeks of its flying contract with Thomas Cook, and as we were very disappointed with the discomfort that our passengers experienced. All flights are now operated by the Canadian carrier Air Transat, with more legroom than many scheduled airlines, and I've been assured that the seats recline. Finally, Marilyn Jones and Mark Sandham found themselves stranded by strikes in Greece and Portugal respectively. Marilyn was booked on EasyJet and Mark on Ryanair, which are the two biggest budget airlines in Europe. Both got in touch independently to ask,
how can I recover the extra costs I incurred?
Under EU rules, if you're delayed, the airline has a strict duty of care and must meet your reasonable expenses. If they don't cooperate, the next step is to contact the national enforcement body of the country where the flight was cancelled, in Athens and Lisbon respectively. But don't expect an instant response. If you've got an issue with an airline, hotel chain or cruise line that you'd like us to address, just email fasttrack@bbc.com and I'll do my very best to find you an answer. From me, Simon Calder, bye for now and see you next time.
Now, when political unrest propelled the Maldives into the headlines last month, many tour operators braced themselves for a wave of cancellations. Thankfully, that didn't happen, as tourism drives this island nation's economy. Divers and snorkelers from all over the world go there to watch the spectacular sea life. Its colony of manta rays, for instance, is one of the largest in the world. Impressive, but still in need of protection, as John McIntyre found out when he went to dive with them.
A traditional donie ferries the latest visitors to these tiny tropical islands, world-renowned for their riches underwater, beautiful coral reefs and abundant marine life, especially now that the sharks here have better legal protection. But I'm here in the Maldives to find out about the world's largest population of manta rays, surely one of the most graceful animals in the sea, and to find out why it needs legal protection. Manta rays are in fact members of the shark family. They live on plankton, and the largest of the species have wingspans of up to 6 meters. Special dive charters offer the chance to see them up close in the wild at predictable locations, where mantas gather to feed or be cleaned of parasites. For divers, it's a real privilege.
They're just majestic, absolutely amazing to watch, just stunning.
Some of them came down to meet us and swam up and over the rocks, down beside us. There's some huge ones, really immense, beautiful.
There's such a massive part of the ocean and such a major part of the ecosystem here that, they have to be protected.
Scientist Guy Stevens and his team have been carrying out research on the Maldives manta rays since 2006.
It's west-southwest, 254 degrees.
They focus their efforts in the Bar Atoll, now a UNESCO World Biosphere Conservation Reserve. Photography is their key tool for recording manta ray behaviour, with special underwater lasers used to measure sizes. So far, well over 2,000 individuals have been identified in and around the tiny bay of Hanifaru. When conditions are right, plankton blooms create feeding frenzies, often with more than 100 manta rays gorging themselves in an area no bigger than a football pitch.
It's now one of the world's top destinations to come and see manta rays. There's certainly nowhere like it in the world where you can see such huge aggregations. And obviously, with that level of tourism comes the need to manage it.
In just a short time, Guy Stevens' photographic record of the impact of hordes of visitors has included graphic images of mantas severely injured by boat propellers, others of divers trying to ride the animals and generally harassing them.
Snorkelers and divers, everybody in this tight little area with 100 or so manta rays, maybe 1 or 2 whale sharks, that's just not sustainable.
Today, Hanifaru has marine protected status, restricting boat and visitor numbers.
Last week there were many mantas and whale sharks here.
You heard of that?
It's now officially a look-see, don't-touch zone to be patrolled by rangers. Operators agree it's a good move.
We support all the regulations. We just want to ensure that they're implemented in a way that's beneficial to all stakeholders. Because if the mantas disappear, so does our business.
Of course, this kind of protection requires proper funding and enforcement. Here in the Maldives, the scientists believe the manta ray project will succeed in the long term because it's just as crucial to the animal as it is to the tourist economy.
John McIntyre swimming alongside the amazing manta rays of the Maldives. Well, that's it for this week's programme. We hope you've enjoyed joining us on our travels. Next week,
just over. It's very easy, it's all right.
Rajan is in Japan to find out how the country's tourist industry is coping 1 year after the tsunami and reactor explosion at Fukushima.
How badly affected have you been here?
Foreign people is 90% down. That is so terrible.
Join Rajan as he travels through Nagano, Fukushima and Tokyo next week if you can. In the meantime, don't forget our website for more travel treats. You'll find it at bbc.com/travel. And follow the link to BBC Travel while you're there for more ideas and inspiration. Till the next time though, from me, Fiona Foster and the rest of the Fast Track team, thanks for watching and goodbye.